I'm going to be talking to you about my experimental learning experience that I did with my class with the natural history of invertebrates. And then we went to 4 different locations. One was here in Erath County at the Bosque River. And then the second one we went to was in Travis County, which was at the Shield Ranch. And then we went to Jeff Davis County, which was at the Cherry Canyon Ranch. And then we went to Tennessee Colony at the Gus England Wildlife Park. And then each location was different from the other and provided a variety of habitats for organisms to live. And then the differences in these locations were like the topography, vegetation, and lack of water. So like in West Texas when we went, there wasn't that much water, and we couldn't really do electrofishing there because there wasn't as many pools of water and rivers. But the vegetation was a little sparse as well, so we found different species than we would have found in like East Texas. This is a map of the ecoregions. The first one was Erath County, which is the Cross Timbers and Prairies ecoregion, and then the second location that we went to was the Travis County, which is also part of the Cross Timbers and Prairies ecoregion, but also part of the Edwards Plateau. And then our third field trip, we went to West Texas, which was in Jeff Davis County, which was the Trans-Pecos ecoregion, and then the last one was Anderson County, which is the Post Oak Savanna ecoregion. So some of our field work we did electrofishing, like I mentioned, and with this is one of my classmates using the electrofisher, and what you do is you use it and it has a pole at the end with a little hoop, and then that shocks the fish and stuns them. And so as the current passes them, they travel into the seine right here, and if you get close enough, then once you turn the electrofisher off, they lift up the seine and it catches all the fish for us, and then we can identify them later on. And then we also did some herping, which we just like use rocks and we wipe off all the debris, and then all of the organisms that are on it get onto a yellow net, and then from there we can identify what's on there. But usually all we found on the trips were like leeches, and we only did those herping exercises for the first field trip that we went to. And then we also did some bat netting. With this we used mist nets, and we did this on the last 2 field trips, but we only caught a bat on our last field trip in Anderson County, and what we caught was an evening bat. And then we also did bird watching throughout the field trips. We found and saw like the black-crested titmouse and northern cardinal, painted bunting, things like that. And then we also set Sherman traps every night, and like Friday night and then Saturday night we set them, and this is what the Sherman trap looks like. You just set it on a level ground where you think a mice would run along, and make sure that it's leveled so that if the mice enters it and it tipples over, it'll leave. So you have to make sure it's on flat ground, and then you just open the door and throw oatmeal in it, and then we flag it with 2 flags so we don't lose the trap. And then we also handled mice and snakes. One of the snakes we caught was the Texas garter snake, and then we caught other mice like the white-footed deer mouse, Lacey's white ankle mouse, and then we caught Northern American deer mouse. And then these are some of the other species we caught, some fish, sunfish, and we saw black vultures and turkey vultures, and a cannon tree frog. So what I've learned is that when we're herping, we need to put the rocks back where we found them after we've looked under them, because it can be habitat for a lot of the species, and we don't want to disturb their habitat. And then I learned how to handle snakes and how to tell them apart from venomous snakes. So venomous snakes, non-venomous snakes don't have like black lines on their face, so that's how you can tell them apart if you're close enough. And then we have to release any captured species in the area where we caught them, because if we catch them by like a river or something, we they might not be able to find that water anymore, and that's their source of habitat, so they need that, so we need to put them back where we found them. And then I learned that fish will typically not be the same habitat as frogs, but we did find some fish in a pool of water when we were in Travis County. And then the success rates for Sherman trapping are low. They're at a 10% capture rate. So each of us set 20 traps, and then a total for all of the students was about 240. So we should have caught at least 20, but we caught like 2 or 3 each morning. So I mean, that's better than nothing. And then the wingspan of bats is measured by each wing length and then the width of the body. I have a picture of that in the next slide. And then also always ask plenty of questions and get involved as much as possible with field work. So like some of the professors asked, who wants to go herping? You know, like it's up to us if we want to go and learn something new and get something out of the field trip. And then this is just some of the stuff that we caught. This was the Lacey's white-ankled mouse. This one is the North American deer mouse we caught in the Sherman trap. And then this is one of my classmates measuring the evening bat.